Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
We've got only few of us today. We're still waiting for some more to join us. Good sunny day today. I hope it stays. Okay, some people. Hi, Parul.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. How is everyone?
All good.
All good. All good.
I have to say, where I am, it's sunny.
There as
Yeah.
well.
You remember that sun stuff?
It's lovely.
We have some. So exciting.
Are you in your
plan to
second
put
home
these-
in the Caribbean?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm missing it.
We should have had these really cool backdrops which we put last time.
Oh yeah, should we do that?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I love this. So the theme today is actually sun. Yeah, well done. Hold on. All right. You got
I haven't had the
sun.
training yet, so I don't know how to do it.
Oh, I don't know.
You are.
What's this one? Hold on. Do you like that? Pearly.
Oh.
Ridiculous. I actually like this one. Sorry. Maybe I'll do something different. Very good. No, I
seem
like
to
the
have
pearls.
lost the button.
Look, pearls and pearls. Fantastic.
I'll try to be good.
Jane.
I love it. Good
Oh, I
morning,
think-
all.
Oh,
This-
Jane.
Yeah.
That's more me.
Looking good, girl.
That is me.
You've brought the
Absolute-
sunshine.
Good morning to everyone. We're still, I think we'll wait for a minute or so and then we get on.
Nyoka, will I be able to share my screen?
Of course you can. You have the button down there which says share screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you click on that, you can, do you see at the bottom?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I just wanted to check. Yeah, seems fine.
Okay, so do you think we should just get on? And people will just join us as and when. So good morning to everybody. I'm Nyoka from at CVS, and you know all my colleagues there. Ian, that's Jane. She's incorrectly put her name as Ian there, really naughty. And that's Parul. And
Confuse them
welcome to
all.
today. Let me just share my screen with you. Can you all see the screen?
Yeah.
I've lost you.
You can't see the screen?
Yeah, my laptop does this. It drops right out. I've gone back to my start screen and I've got to go back in again.
Okay. Do you want to log off and log back in?
No, I'm in.
Oh, great. So the 8th week running, and we have so many of you. So
Morning,
You
everyone.
know all the housekeeping rules by now. Just don't keep yourself off mute if you've got some kind of background sound to enable the speaker to have a good session, and please interact. We need all your best practices. We'll start off with just a small information or a small speech by Toby, because there's a session on community advisory board meeting coming up. They're going to have people talking in community languages. You have the counselor coming in today. I'll just play the video for you and he'll do all the talking.
Toby, we can't hear you, my love.
Oh, you can't hear Toby?
No, I can't.
Oh, sorry.
Also any other.
Okay, I'm going to try doing it again. Do let me know if you can hear him.
Very faint, Noika. Unless it's just me. Is anyone else having a problem hearing?
Yeah, it's really, I
Can't
heard
hear
it, it's very faint. Very
Sorry, we
faint.
can't hear.
I
Tom.
can't hear it.
Okay, no worries.
If you send me the, Mike, if you send me the link,
I'll do
I
that.
can share it from my screen.
I'll send you the link right now, Ian, if you can just try playing it from there. I'll put it in the chat box, Ian.
Ian, just make sure that the little boxes have been ticked if you're doing a video Zoom in the bottom left-hand corner.
Hi, I'm Toby from Ealing and Hounslow CVS, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the housing campaigning that Ealing and Hounslow CVS are carrying out. I coordinate this project and it is funded by the Trust for London. On this project, we really want to engage with all BAME communities, individuals, also any other vulnerable groups, because the whole project is about empowering these individuals by giving them the tools and confidence so they're able to make their voice known when it comes to housing issues in Hounslow and Ealing. So we're developing a lot of training materials. We train community groups to be able to support individuals. We're going to train tenants and residents associations. So there's loads of information we're building, compiling. We've got a community advisory board, we're just setting that up. So now is the time, if you've got an interest in housing or would like to be part of this project, then please do register to go on the Slack site. Just send me an email and I can send you an invite to Slack. Slack is a platform which enables us to share a whole range of different tools and information about meetings. And it also gives you the opportunity to chat to other people who are also interested in housing. So it just takes a few minutes to sign up for it. But once you're part of that and that community that's on Slack, you can access all necessary information, and I really would encourage you to sign up to it so you can then be more actively part of this project. Thank you.
Okay, that was Toby talking about the session, the counselor, the community advisory board meeting. The meeting would be on Thursday, the 15th of April, between 4 and 5:30. And you have Councillor Tariq Mahmood would be coming in. And I guess they're planning to have some of the sessions in community languages, especially needed for areas like South Hall. So engaging a lot more of the community coming in. So I will be sending out an email with the Zoom link to you all. And if there's anyone else who wants to attend, please let me know and I can send the link to them too. Okay, moving forward, before we move forward, if I could request you all to put your organization name and name in the chat box for us. And we'll move on to Sharanjit. Sharanjit would be talking about projects they're doing to engage with the community in line with the topic of today. We also request you to come back to us with, share your best practices, things that have worked for you in this pandemic and how you've gone ahead and, you've gone ahead and engaged with your community and your organizations. Sharanjit, is Sharanjit here? I see Sharanjit, but not the board. Sharanjit?
I
Can
can
you
see.
hear us?
I can see Sharanjit.
He's not there at the
but,
moment.
Yeah, it's just a
Okay.
state site. Yeah. So this about Sunshine of Hounslow, presumably.
Yeah, the project Sunshine of Hounslow's organizing for her community.
I think you can ask her to
Since
speak later on.
Yeah, since Sharanjit is not here at the moment, Tracy Williams, who is with the Blood Donation and the Sickle Society, she would like to share the work of the Sickle Cell Society and their drive for blood donation from Black communities. Tracy, would you like to go ahead? Tracy?
Yeah, no, I'm here. Don't worry. I'm just putting my camera back on.
You sounded desperate then.
I did for a second, didn't I? Trying not to look like it.
Okay, morning everyone. Let me share my screen. I have a short presentation. Okay, can everyone see that front page? Okay, lovely. So I'm really happy to join you this morning. As Naoka said, my name is Tracy Williams. I work for the Sickle Cell Society, and I'm going to talk a little bit, just to give you an overview about the work of the Sickle Cell Society, talk briefly about sickle cell disorders for people that might not know much about them, and also primarily talk about the project that I manage at the Sickle Cell Society, which is around increasing the amount of Black heritage blood donors coming forward. So let me just, okay. So the Sickle Cell Society is, we're a small organisation. We're based in Brent, but we operate nationally. We're the only national organisation supporting people affected by sickle cell disorders. We were set up as a charity in 1979, so we've been running for over 40 years now. And we were formed by various groups of people who came together because they were dissatisfied or had negative experience in terms of the awareness and the care that they received around sickle cell disorder. So we were formed by a group of patients, parents, and health professionals. And we hope that over those 40 plus years, we've contributed to raising awareness of sickle cell and improving access to treatments and the quality of care that people receive. There's still a lot of work to do. And as part of that ongoing work, we run a range of community projects. some of which you'll see on the right here, and a couple of which I'll speak about in a little bit more detail. So we run a helpline which is available 5 days a week, and that's really to answer any questions that anyone has about sickle cell disorder. So most of our queries come from people who have the disorder or their family members, but also we take calls from clinicians wanting more information about sickle cell, people doing research around the topic. So we're open to anyone that wants to learn more about sickle cell disorders. Because sickle cell disorder is a complex condition, it's an invisible disability, there's still a lack of awareness around it. It's still really important for people to have access to activities that support their overall well-being, and to do that we run a range of community-based activities, all of which have had to be transferred online due to the pandemic, and I'll talk a little bit more about how we've transferred our work as I go through this presentation. A key part of our work is lobbying MPs to try to improve the legislation that exists and that affects people affected by sickle cell disorder. We work in partnership with the Thalassemia Society, which is another genetic condition which has lots of crossover with sickle cell disorder. So we work in Parliament with that organisation to lobby MPs. We run a heritage project, which I'll talk about later, a screening project enabling people to find out if they carry the sickle cell trait, a children's holiday, which usually takes children away, but last year was delivered entirely online, and a blood donation project. Just a little bit about sickle cell disorder. So sickle cell disorder is the most common serious genetic condition in the world, and it's estimated around 15,000 people in the UK have sickle cell disorder. And it describes a group, sort of an umbrella term for a group of blood disorders caused by the inheritance of 2 abnormal genes. So you have to have a mother with an abnormal gene and a father with an abnormal gene to stand a chance of having a child with sickle cell disorder. And that diagram kind of gives you an illustration of that. So if 2 parents have the AS gene, then they have a 1 in 4 probability of having a child with sickle cell disorder. A sickle cell trait describes individuals who have 1 sickle gene. A sickle cell trait is extremely common. So 1 in 4 people from a West African background and 1 in 10 people from a Caribbean background have sickle cell trait. And also because we live in a multi-ethnic society with people having relationships with other people from different ethnic backgrounds, the occurrence of sickle cell trait in people from non-Black heritage backgrounds is growing. And just a little bit more on that. So sickle cell disorder does largely affect people from African and Caribbean backgrounds, and this is thought to be due to where a large gene mutation event originated, estimated between 3,000 and 6,000 years ago. And it's that time period, and during that time period, it's estimated that this largest gene mutation event started in Africa. And it's thought to have developed as a protection against malaria. So you'll see that people with sickle cell have their normal red blood cells affected. So normal red blood cells are round and spongy, kind of like donut shape. And the impact of having sickle cell disorder means that your red blood cells change shape into the shape of a sickle or a banana, which means that it makes it really difficult for oxygen to be carried throughout the body. And that's what causes difficulties in sickle cell disorder. A little bit about our work with the Sickle Cell Society, our recent work. So you're probably aware that people affected by sickle cell disorder were classed in the clinically extremely vulnerable group. and were required to shield during the coronavirus pandemic. And that has had a significant and varied impact upon people in the sickle cell community. And after doing some research around that, we worked again with the Thalassemia Society to develop this report, the name of which was a quote from someone about how they felt, how they were affected by the demands, the requirements, the impact of coronavirus on them as someone with sickle cell. And they said that they felt they'd been cast aside and forgotten. We have lots of information about this and the report on our website, which I'll show you the link to later. And just another example of our work is this archive. So my colleague has created the first archive of sickle cell experience in the UK called Our Journey, Our Story, which we've produced in partnership with Black Cultural Archives. And it documents the kind of difficult struggle that many people have had living with sickle cell anemia in Britain over the past 70 years. And it very much talks about the journey of individuals, but also of sickle cell generally in the UK, the changes in care, in treatment, and also how it's impacted people personally. That's available to view online, so I'd really recommend that you have a look at that. And why I'm here today is to talk about this project. So over the past 2 years, I've been managing a couple of projects around blood donation, and we're about to launch this new project, which is a kind of amalgamation of our previous work and this is called Give Blood, Spread Love England. And this is just a picture of some of the outreach that we used to do when we could go out and speak to people face to face. And this work is around increasing the amount of Black heritage people who come forward to go onto the blood donation register and become regular blood donors. And why are we doing this work? So we're doing this work because as part of their treatment, people who are most severely affected by sickle cell disorder need access to ethnically matched blood. And they need access to ethnically matched blood because I can hear someone. I wonder if someone could go on mute. I can hear some background noise. And the reason that they need access to ethnically matched blood is because when people have frequent blood transfusions, the closer the match of the blood as possible becomes really, really important. And there's not enough people from Black heritage coming forward to donate blood. And currently where we stand is that there's a demand for 40,000, this is in England alone, 40,000 new Black heritage blood donors to come forward. Currently, only 1.5% of people who give blood are of Black heritage. There's also, this is a difficult and complex task because there exists lots of myths and fears and lack of awareness around blood donation generally. But several research studies have shown that those myths, fears, and lack of awareness exist more commonly in some groups within the Black population. And that's for lots of complex reasons to do with some people may not be aware that there's a need, but also some people are fearful of engaging with the NHS. There are heightened concerns around hygiene and safety of the process, and also concerns around institutional racism and how they will be received as a Black heritage person going to give blood. So our work, Give Blood, Spread Love England, is myth busting. So we initiate conversations with people about the blood donation process, hopefully bring them closer to becoming a blood donor if they wish to. So sometimes that is just about having a conversation. Sometimes people are ready to donate and wish to sign up. And we also support people through the process and are here to kind of get feedback about their experience and pass that on to the blood donation service. Prior to COVID, all of our work was face-to-face. So we would go out to talk to Black majority churches and community groups, and got used to get an amazing, enthusiastic response from that work. And we've had to change that approach significantly to work out how we can still get that response, but do it all online. And part of that has been creating digital resources. So you'll see on the right an example of some of the digital resources that we've created to share with people about giving blood. We've got lots of those online. And we continue to engage with communities through presentations like this, but also to workplaces and also to churches. That impact is very difficult to recreate online, which is why we have adapted our practice. We really needed to adapt our practice given the current restraints. Just a little bit more information about the need, the importance of blood for people with sickle cell. So people with sickle cell disorder sometimes have two types of blood transfusions. So one, which is kind of called a simple transfusion, is usually where someone is anemic, which is a obviously common occurrence in sickle cell anemia. And they might receive something called a simple transfusion, which is where healthy red blood cells are given to the patient's body and they're just used as an addition. There's also a treatment called exchange transfusions, where someone with sickle cell might have 2/3 of their blood exchanged for healthy donated blood. And all of that blood has to come from someone from a good ethnic match. And someone who has exchanged blood transfusions typically has them between 6 and 8 weeks. So very, very frequently. So if you start thinking of just one person having blood every 6 to 8 weeks, and that blood needing to replace 2/3 of the patient's blood, it gives you a picture of just how much blood is needed. And I know from one of the volunteers who supports our project, who has this treatment, sometimes the blood is not available locally, and she often tells me, oh, this time my blood came from Birmingham or my blood came from Bristol, because there hasn't been enough ethnically matched blood available to treat her in London. And just a little bit about the importance of ethnic matches. So this is very simple because I'm not a clinician, but there are lots of different types and subtypes of blood. And one of the reasons we need to increase the amount of Black heritage blood donors is because certain types of blood are more common in people with Black heritage. And in particular, there's a subtype of blood called RO, which is 10 times more common in people from African or Caribbean backgrounds. And there's also another type of blood called B positive, which is, again, more common in people with Black heritage. And because people with Black heritage are more likely to have sickle cell, we need to increase the amount of donors with that type of blood. But even if you don't have that type of blood and you are of Black heritage, your blood we still need to diversify the blood stock, the blood supply, and so more people with Black heritage still need to come forward regardless of their blood type. As I said, the project is supported by a team of volunteers who are really at the heart of our work. On the right there, that's the volunteer I was talking about, Bola, having her exchange blood transfusion. And on the left is one of our volunteers, Brenda, who was given blood 40 times, and who's at the centre of one of our current campaigns to raise awareness for more people to come forward. Okay, a couple more slides. So I'm really happy to have this opportunity to share some of our work with you. I guess our request today is we would really like to be linked with more organisations who have significant numbers of Black heritage staff or members, so we can present either online or face-to-face our kind of longer version of this presentation, which usually includes volunteers speaking about their experience, people with sickle cell speaking about their experiences. So if any of you are able to link us to organisations like that, I would love to hear from you. We're also always looking for volunteers, and as we're relaunching the programme, that's something that I'm looking to do. So if anyone's interested in volunteering or could promote our call for volunteers, that would be excellent. Individuals, as people part of a bigger network, we ask you to think about donating. That's the link to our donation form. If you're really keen, we can help you
want some?
take part in a blood donation session.
St. John's Trust to register.
We can work with groups of staff, friends, families.
I think you've spoken to me about this before. I said,
Sorry,
no,
can
you
I
cannot
just
take details over the
interrupt?
phone.
Yeah.
Could people please turn their microphones
You come
off?
to
It's
say, if you know the
extremely
big good
rude.
water in Southall,
Ben, I think you're
before you
not
get to
on
the
mute. Thank you, Ben. Sorry about that, Tracy. Go ahead.
No worries, I'm on the home straight. So if people are interested in taking part in a group blood donation session with their friends or their families or their work colleagues, we can support you to do that. More widely, please become a member of the Sickle Cell Society. It's a great way to find out what's happening. You'll receive our monthly e-newsletter. And also we, of course, are on lots of social media. So following us on that, kind of retweeting our messages is a really helpful way to share some of the things that we talk about. And also this work is about recruiting more Black heritage blood donors because there aren't enough in the system. However, if you don't come from that ethnic group, that doesn't mean that we don't need you to take part. We need you to be an ally and share our information. And, you know, I think it's true that we all know people from lots of different ethnic backgrounds. So just because you're not a Black heritage, it doesn't mean that you can't play a part in this work. Yeah, and just lastly, if you want to get in touch with me, that's my details there. I have a fantastic colleague called Olivia who developed some of our digital marketing, and also organises group blood donation sessions. For you or people that you might come into contact with that might need help from us, that's our helpline number. And you can find more about all the work that I've mentioned today, obviously, on our website. That's it. I'm not sure if anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for bringing this to us today at the meeting, and it has been very well received. I think there's a message from Natasha, but before we go to her, because she's put up, a question from Natasha, she's put up a hand. Evelyn has sent a message that she would like to connect with you, and is very happy with the presentation you have put up for us today. Natasha, do you have something to ask Tracy?
I actually accidentally put it up. However, thank you very much. Hi all. Hi Tracy.
Morning.
Good morning. I know a few people within what I do that are actually, you know, have sickle cell. It'd be nice to be able to kind of develop a workshop so they can deliver it to young people so they're more aware of it and the impact of it. So, because a lot of people hear it and don't actually know. It's like, for example, with leukemia, I did a project outside of this, which a lot of people don't understand, even if a child, I know it's away from it, but still within it. If a child of mixed race heritage develops leukemia, they cannot get a donor from their other heritage that is non-Black. It has to be a Black heritage, especially if they're of mixed race with Black. So even things like that, giving people awareness, because, you know, we are a world that is developing and becoming a beautiful melting pot. So to do a workshop like that for people to be aware of that, to be able to ask questions, I'd really be interested in that with yourselves, your organisation.
That's great, Natasha. Which organisation? Are you from an organisation?
Yes.
Which one?
Messiah 07.
Okay, all right. So I will definitely get in touch with you. So we have, just because this is a quick book presentation, I didn't go into all the details, but our one strand of our project is very much targeted towards younger people.
Yes.
And also we very much include people that have sickle cell to talk about sickle cell, because I don't have sickle cell, and it's much better and much more authentic for people to talk from their own experience. And we have lots of online resources and plans. So I will catch up with you about that and put you in touch with Olivia, and we'll see, we can see what we can do.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Would anyone else have any question for Tracy?
Tracy, well done. Very good presentation. It would be nice that if you can have with a few one-to-one organizations talk as well, so we can accommodate each other a bit more. And also, it's good to know what age group, up to what age can you give a blood donation. Not everybody knows about it. And
Yeah.
it's important to we get to know you more and get more information from you. So if we can exchange the emails through the this chat, then it'll be nice to get in touch more and get more information, so we can support you a bit more with this project.
Thanks, Shanjit. Are your details in the chat?
I will put in the chat because I'm the next one to talk. After that, I'll do
Okay.
it.
All right, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Uh,
Sharanjit. What I would do is we would be sending out the slides with details of Tracy to everyone, along with the information that she shared today. Meanwhile, since we're a community where we are a total melting pot with a lot all mixed marriages, it is a duty for everyone, and it is in this community, to support each other. So this is a very good forum. Thank you. I think Mukesh Malhotra has put up
Yeah,
his
I've got a little question for Tracy. Tracy, some of us in this group are probably blood donors. And I was just wondering, because of the various intermarriages and the history, I know for my own family, we have connections both in Fiji and in Trinidad and Tobago, and there have been intermarriages of some sort. Is it still useful to be a blood donor so that at least the platelets or the plasma could be used to support the NHS blood donor scheme, or does that mean I should be talking to the NHS blood donation scheme to find out whether I may have sickle cell, so it wouldn't be any use to me giving any blood anymore?
Hi, Mukesh. So you are asking whether someone from your ethnic background is needed to give blood. Is that correct? Is that the main part of your question?
No, I already give blood.
Uh-huh.
But the question, since you've raised it through your presentation, was that as many families have intermarried,
okay,
they may have sickle cell anemia, but they don't even know about it.
I understand.
And so the question I'm asking you is, should I be asking the NHS blood donation scheme whether I can still give blood and they can then extract at least the plasma or the platelets if they can't use the actual red blood cells?
Okay, so if you had sickle cell anemia, you would very much be you would know that you had it. So someone with sickle cell anemia will have a range of symptoms. So you would know if you had sickle cell anemia. So it's possible that people from my background, for example, so I'm half Nigerian, half Irish, I have African heritage. So there's a possibility that any of us could have sickle cell trait. There is a screening program that's in place for all newborn babies, but that only came in the last few decades. So people of my age, I was never screened. So if you have sickle cell anemia, you would know, you would be physically experiencing that. You might have sickle cell trait. I mean, there's a faint possibility. And if you wanted to find that out, you could ask your GP for a blood test, and then they would be able to tell you whether you have sickle cell trait or not. People with sickle cell anemia can't give blood, so they're excluded from donating. People with sickle cell trait can give blood, and their blood can be filtered and used in the same way as someone's blood who doesn't have sickle cell trait. So I hope that answers. So I think if you have a suspicion about it, you can ask your GP for a test. And depending on where you live, there are sometimes sickle cell and thalassemia community settings that will do tests for you. So depending on the borough that you're in, there might be one there. But I guess it's good to ask if you have a faint suspicion, and they will be able to test you.
Yeah, the only reason why I ask is that many people from the South Asian heritage they didn't go as slaves, but they went as bonded labor to parts of the British Empire like Fiji and to the Caribbean. And it's great for going on holiday because you can say your family's out there, but when you hear what you just described, it is a little bit of a worry that you may have that in your, through your heritage, that you may have a trait, and it needs to be, you just need to make sure.
One last thing, Mukesh, one important point, Sonyoka, is if you have already donated blood, which you have, then if you had trait, that is picked up at that point. So if you have already donated blood and haven't received any letter afterwards saying, thanks, Mukesh, did you know you had sickle cell trait, then you don't have sickle cell trait because your blood would already been tested. But any worries for you or any one of your family, ask for a test.
Great. Thank you, Tracy, for that. One more question from Natasha, mindful of the time. Natasha?
Oh, sorry, I keep on pressing it. I do apologize.
Oh, sorry, it's all right. Thank you for that. Tracy, if you could send us your slides and we'll pass it on to the community. There is Gladys from Wand UK who would also like to connect with you and share the news. So, okay, that's one pretty long message. Taking us ahead, if there are no questions from any participants at this point to Tracy, I'd like to thank Tracy for bringing this to us, and moving to Sharanjit to understand how Sunshine of Hounslow has been engaging with the community and how we could pick up tips from there and also share tips that we have to get this community going. Sharanjit, on to you.
Thank you very much. And good morning, everybody. Yeah, we are Sunshine of Hounslow Health and Wellbeing, set up 2012. And I myself have a disability and long-term ill health as well. So I could not work full-time. That's the reason I'm doing a lot of charity work since last 30 years. So in various of field, I have experience with in a lot of, I would say, aspects of the community work. I myself have, I'm a citizen advisor as well, health trainer advisor, bereavement counselor, social worker as well, a yoga teacher, fashion designer, bereavement counselor, befriender, and community allotment management work as well. So we also have work with many other organizations as a supporting the other organizations, also learning work from them as well. So we have worked with the Rihanna Foundation, number 1, Big Local, Heston West, Age UK, and food banks. Ben is there as well with the Southall food banks. We support them and we get support from them to our benefit and beneficiary users as well. We do support people with a long-term ill health and disability, elderly, single moms, universal credit, domestic violence, homeless, crime victims, and drug victims as well. So at the moment, we have our sorry, can't find the word. So our we have increased so much in our services during the lockdown. I thought that's it, like everybody else, we have to close the door and sit down. It only took us two weeks to work out what we can do next. So basically, I have a training in the cooking as a health trainer advisor. So we used to run a cooking classes with the Rihanna Foundation as well. So I change my skills, use into the community. So we start cooking for police stations, fire station, care homes, and the local community who could not get out to reach the services, especially elderly women. We cook food and support them on their doorstep so they didn't have to get out. Also done a lot of shopping for them. We were very lucky. I would say the luckiest year last year, this year, with the grants and all that, because we have increased our services a lot. And every time we talk to the people who provide the grants, they were so happy to, help us with the grants, the services we were providing to carry on providing. So we've been delivering cooked food, um, raw food, also food vouchers and clothing vouchers. Although also we've done a lot of shopping for young moms where especially the babies are newborn and the mothers couldn't get out. Many times they are on their own. And we used to, I myself used to go and do the shopping and drop it to their doorstep, whatever the baby requirements were, up to £100 we spend on newborn babies. So start the young moms off with a lot of their needs. So, we have been supporting all over the community, but the areas we have increased during this pandemic, the areas we start covering now used to be Hounslow and Ealing, now Acton, Hillingdon, Hayes, Southall, and I would say Acton as well, and East London as well, and Maidenhead. People just contact us. We need your services. We need a help, and we just provide them a help. The counseling and the befriending was ongoing task all the way through, and again we have been offered. We've run during the pandemic. I thought to engage the community, that was the easiest way to engage them with the art and craft club. So I never had a skills with the Zoom, and funny enough, it was for me, I was a good learning to move on in the digital world as well. So I learned how to start the Zoom, buy the Zoom, start Zoom classes as well. Also, through the Zoom, we are successfully delivering our services. We have a yoga sessions every week online. We have art and craft club, which we start at least 2 o'clock. People always sitting and waiting, start contacting each other, start chatting with each other from 1 o'clock, because they are looking forward to engage with each other. And also during the artwork, they talk about the mental health, physical health, how they can improve. And also I do lead the classes, how they can also improve their mental health as well. Also give them a chance to talk about how they've affected with the COVID. And to be honest, we could write a books on the COVID, how the people were affected, which we are hoping to, write a books in the future. Also, we are hoping after this art and craft classes sessions finish, straight away we're not going to stop any services even for 1 week. We're going to start healthy cooking clubs online as well. And I myself work 7 days a week. To be honest, since last year I didn't have a break at all unless I'm unwell. And also we also have university students which are learning to do a lot of charity work. and all the charitable skills. I'm training them with the charitable work. They are training me with the digital and other work as well. So it's not only the community. We are trying to sow the seed for future generations so they can carry our charities in future. Before I I will never finish the charity work, but we are getting the new generation ready to start the charity work so they can handle the future better for us. And we will also, as a senior generation, will also feel secure that we have a secure future for us to lead the charities and all the charitable work as well. So we've been just offered a grant from Hillingdon area as well, so we can we do deliver our projects in Hillingdon area as well, which is really good. I mean, the success has been very high. Also, there is a lot of struggle due to digital skills. I myself was struggling, but not as much now because thanks to all the university students, they are helping in the times so much to lead this charity and take a lot of work forward. Without their help, it wouldn't be possible. And I've been due to my all the charitable work, I've been on television, Asian television, quite a number of times, many times I would say. And I am in a bandit like Beckham as well, if all of you, just to let you know. And I have worked with many other organizations on international level as well. One is a Roko Cancer. So I used to raise money here, go and do the camps in India where people could not afford even their basic checkups. So they used to have ECG checkups, blood, diabetes, blood pressure, and where they get the monthly supply of their medication as well. I've been doing that one over 10 years now, and it still continue. Once the lockdown stop, I go to India once a year and go and attend the camps myself. Sometimes can be 5 camps, 4 camps every year. So each camp cost £500. And now it costs more, £600, but we are still keep up working with the other organizations and letting the other organizations to work with us as well. And also we are catering for young moms with the special needs of children. We are really taking into consideration and supporting them with anything they required. Could be food, could be adjustable bed for the child, could be glasses, or anything they need with. Also applying for some grants for those families, so at least they can have a pot in the house. Anytime any emergency comes, anything break down, they can't reach out to the council or any other services, at least they have their own pot to work with. So basically they are going to be well supported in their own homes. We only the phone call they have to make to us, and we are always there to support them directly. And Naika, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to bring all this our services to get them to recognize through the community. I mean, myself, I have been into fashion designing in past. I worked with the Vivienne Westwood, Mark Spencer, Harrods, and the sportswear and the British Airways as well. So I'm highly qualified as in the fashion industry as well. So we are hoping with the Hillingdon and the Hayes areas, I've got another more sewing teachers, where we're going to plan to educate women, especially when they are home, for lifelong skills, so they can stitch at least their own outfits, keep their cost low as well.
Thank you, Sharanjeet, for that. That was really, really huge number of activities that you're involved with, which is lovely, and God bless you for that. I'm sure you have a huge community who would be looking out for you, and wanting to interact with you every day. I have a message which Evelyn has left for you. Evelyn had to leave for another meeting. She spoke about the Future Ealing Fund crowdfunding opportunity, which has a deadline of deadline, which is the 20th of April. And they are offering up to 50% max of 1,000 or 10,000. I don't know if she's made an error there, to capital elements like projects which you're involved with. So if you'd like to get in touch with her, also, sorry about that. Is there anyone? Yeah, I guess there's Omar who has a question for you, Sharanji.
Sorry, darling. Yeah.
Hi, Sanji.
Hello.
It's How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you, Sanji, for inviting me to the allotments on Saturday. It was a pleasure meeting you, actually. And, you know, to see that the amount of work you do personally was very impressive. And what I was thinking about is, since I left your allotment, is, the community I come from, the Somali. I don't think we have ever done that, what you do, and the growing of food and everything else. So I was wondering, and even my kids, my daughter and my son, when they came to you, they were honestly impressed, and they've been talking about your project. So I was hoping that, and we can introduce to, especially to the Somali community, those sort of allotments you do. And also, you have already agreed to help me. And I think Sanji is one of the most welcoming human beings you will ever see. Since I've started my community, Sanji came forward to help me with everything at the moment that we stand for. So I was hoping we can create more allotments, bring more people to, especially those people who have never seen, and the way it's done. I'm sure 100% they will enjoy us. For me, it was a pleasure meeting you once again. Thank you for all the help you are providing me. Thank you, Sanji.
Thank you, Omar. All the shields I donate to everybody, they were all given by Mr. Malhotra, donation by them. So we are basically using it straight away to the community. Also, our allotment is a disability community, purpose-built disability community allotment. We have a disabled toilet, and we have all the wheelchair access with the safety and security as well. So we've done a lot of work. We spent about 90,000 on the allotment already to bring it up to date. We are in the process of expanding the allotment, so the other communities also have a lot of opportunities to. It'll be open to all the other communities to come and join the allotment work with us as well. We are so happy with our success, so we can help the other communities as well to find. Now we are looking forward to find other communities' success within our area as well.
Thank you, Sharanjeet, for that. And yes, Omar, I look forward to meeting Sharanjeet at every meeting, because she's very involved and very active with her work. So yes, I do look forward to seeing her at every meeting. Just a small note to everybody today. If anyone doesn't know how to save their chat, there are those three little buttons at the bottom where you write your message. If you click on that, you can save the chat, because there's a lot of information that has been shared on the chat today, I don't think I'll be reading all out to you, but I will read out what Mukesh Malhotra has put, that there's a WhatsApp, a group called the Rotary Community Swap Shop, where individuals offer any surplus or needs so that they can reach out to the community groups. So I'm sure this is going to be useful information to all of us.
No, that's how the face shields got to Sharanjit. I reached out to our members, and within 1 hour, 1,000 face shields were allocated to the different community groups. So it proves that social media does work, provided you've got a lot of very passionate people like Sharanjit. So she got a box, and so did so many other people.
Sanji box that Marquez, the box you give it to Sanji, she also gave it to me, and I went out and I ended up giving to almost. They've been asking for me, especially with those people, the elderly people that I've given to them. They honestly asked me where I got it, and I was told I got it from Sanji, and now I know that they came from you. So I want to thank you both for for what you do.
That's where we're all very passionate together, and we
Yeah.
can actually do so much. And we're using IT and social media in this very difficult time to prove that we can still continue to help each other.
Thank you.
And believe you me, we were not out of work even for one day throughout the lockdown. We were working in the allotment all the time. And basically we spent 10,000 of a project in the during the lockdown in the allotment. So we built a polyhouse, shed, and all the things we could, and we were never out of the work. So we worked through the pandemic throughout the year and winter and everything.
Thank you. I totally agree. WhatsApp has been an amazing tool to connect with people instantly, and what a wonderful way to get it to use with engaging with the community. We're going to try another tool right now, and Jane will take us through it. We'd like your participation in this to make it more effective. Over to you, Jane.
Okay, thank you, Nyoka. Hi, everyone. I've just put a link into the chat box. If you could go onto the link, it will give you the opportunity to participate in the activity that we're going to do now. Just going to. So has everyone seen that link?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a question on there. This is just a little feedback exercise so that we can do ongoing reviews of how this network is working. So if you could just put in 3 words or phrases and submit it or enter it, then it'll pop up on the screen that you see in front of you. Can you see that, Noika? Just, yeah, you can see it. So
what
as
word
you
we put in as example?
Okay, the question is, what longer term changes can you see from the network? So where we're looking at the network, we're looking at this network here. How is it working for you? So as you see, somebody has just put in 3 words. Your words will appear on the screen in front of you once you've put them in. There you go. There you go. So these are the words that everybody is sharing about the cash network. So the kind of things you're thinking that in the longer term will change because of the work that is happening at this network between you, us all, I suppose, at this point. I'll just wait for a few more. I've had 10 responses, and I think we'll wait for at least 20 of us to respond, and then we'll go on to the next slide. Okay, everybody okay with that? Anybody struggling to put in the words?
Whatever comes to mind, what you feel the cache is
Yeah.
bringing to you.
Okay, so for those of you who have commented, I'm quite happy to put the link to this tool. In fact, Noika, you can put a link to this tool onto the chat so that people can copy it and use it for themselves. It's really straightforward and it's a great, fun way to interact on a meeting. And we can
Thank you,
have a
Jane.
play date using it.
Yeah.
On one of our technology groups, yes.
Yes.
So we've had 12 reactions. Is anybody else going to put in theirs? Should I move on to the next one?
Yes.
Jane, sorry, I can't see how to. Have used this before, but I keep on clicking refresh and it won't go on to the next question.
Oh, there are 3 lines. You need to put in each line and then submit it.
Yeah, that's right. I did.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
You've done it.
There's just one question.
There's one question at this point.
Oh, there was just one. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're just filling one screen at this point. There is another question we can move on to in a moment. Okay, I think we'll move on. So I'm going to how did you find that, everyone?
Very good.
Was that
Interesting.
interesting? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a very good tool. And when you do your next technology workshop, we'll have the play date then. So that's, I think that'll be really good. Yeah.
Shall we do it? Shall we do it again? We've got another one that we'd like to answer. So I'm going to just do another one and everyone can practice, and then you'll all be absolutely super skilled and able to do it for yourselves as well at another time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great fun thing to do. And then we can share it at the end and you can all see what everyone has said. I will get it up again. Okay, that's the next one. So what ongoing issues are you facing? Oh, that comma's in the wrong place. Sorry. I hang my head in shame. What ongoing issues are you facing? And think in the context of the kind of issues that you might put in here are things that perhaps could be raised and discussed at this network meeting as well. Have you all got the new link?
Yeah.
Ah, excellent. There's the first one in. So you can see this is a really interactive way if you're working with your groups just to get immediate feedback or to discuss something and get everyone's input in it. And now you've all got the hang of it and you can do it. So if you have a look at the screen, there are some words that are larger than others. Those are the ones that have been chosen or put in multiple times. So the larger they are, the more people have chosen that. Okay.
I think funding is growing and growing.
Yeah, yeah. Funding is definitely the central theme here.
It's brilliant with the amount of data that we're getting in here, and we're surely going to be using this to get our sessions more tailored to your needs. So thank you for that. This is really going to help us make it more engaging and effective.
Okay. So if everyone is okay with that, I think we had around about 12 responses last time. Shall I close this, Noike? Would we do? I have got
Yes.
another one question, I think, but we don't need to go on to that now. If you'd like to
Okay.
move on to open questions.
Yes, I think we do that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jane. It was a very interesting tool. I'll put down the link to the tool on the chat. So if you want to take it, if anyone wants to use this particular tool to brainstorm, to get some kind of feedback from your groups, it would make it interesting and fun.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And that was thanks to Ian, who shared that with us. So we always like to share what we have passed on to us and have seen other people use as well.
Thank you, Ian, for that. Moving on, do we have any questions for Sharanjit?
Yes.
Anyone?
I'm happy to hear.
Rogers has his hand up there. Yes, Rogers? You're on mute.
Sorry, so this is Rogers from Rihanna Development Network. Mine is more of a comment.
Okay.
And just to really thank Sharanjit for what she's doing, especially on the allotment. We started working with Sharanjit on the allotment in 2015. That's when the allotment was set up.
True.
And at the time, it was a derelict place whereby it wasn't utilized. So through the council, we were able to get money together and set it up, and it has thrived. Now there's also the disability component for people with long-term conditions. So I can only applaud her for the work she's done and continuing to do that. And also we run Healthy Cook and Coast Taste with her, and she's taken that and took it to another level. So I can only applaud her for taking that initiative, and well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Rogers.
Thank you, Rogers. I don't know if Omar, you have your hand up, or was it from before?
It was from the previous one. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. We would like to open this forum now to the group. If anybody else wants to share projects that they have initiated during this lockdown period and how they've engaged with the community, how successful it has been, and where you've had the pitfalls, and how we as a community can come together to work on it. So open the session to you all. Anyone?
I think we've never been busy in past all these years. What we have achieved last year and this year, I worked with the Rihanna Foundation. I had a small, I would say, a 5 foot of or a 10 foot of a patch when I started with them. To be honest, I started working with them. Now we are ahead of Rihanna Foundation. Proud to say that, honestly, because we build a disability allotment is fully secure, and we just install a police approved shed there as well. So there's always something new, and we are proud to say there's so many women. Actually, it's a women led allotment, which is, by me and another women with a disability as well. So being disabled, I used to feel I'm less able, but now I feel I'm ahead of people, what we can deliver, which makes me feel so proud, honestly, because also I have supported many young moms with the special need children with their food or their special need or anything they need with the counseling, social work or other services. We're trying to provide them all the help. Sometimes my husband's sitting here, he's retired, but he's working part-time. He goes, don't you feel tired talking to people? Because he's very quiet and a reserved person. And I said, I'm only here once in my lifetime. I want to give the best to the community because I don't want to come back, because God will say to me, well done. Now I can keep you because you're worth a lot more.
Thank you, Sharanjit, for making that footprint in the snow for us and showing us the way to take it forward. Marimar, you have a question for
Yes.
her?
No, it's just to express what we are doing. In my case, I'm not working in Ealing. I'm working in Hillingdon, Brent, and Harrow. And my role is Equalities and Engagement Officer for Hillingdon for clinical commissioning groups. So I think the success that we have found is, despite of the problems in terms of funding, we finally achieved a really good goal, and it has been worked collaboratively. So I think all the organizations used to work in silo, and now because of the circumstances and that we haven't funding and it's tricky to engage face to face, we learn to share projects and link and be connected in between all of us. So for example, in terms to engage with the communities, always the language barrier is an issue. And in our case, GPs from surgeries very kindly offer to us the possibility to translate all the messages outside. Actually, now at 12:15, I have an interview with one patient that has been vaccinated and is a Somali speaker. So Dr. Ahmed Adem Mohamed is going to help us to translate and make sure that the population, the BAME community can understand how is the process, how safe is through the experience of patients. So I think it has been a really good achieve work with the local authority, with colleagues from NHS, and the voluntary sector, of course, always is a really good, is key in terms to engage with all the communities. Thank you.
Thank you. I totally agree with you. I think without the strong support of this community and the good work that's done by the organizations here, it's very difficult for the NHS or the government to, get through with what the messaging that they have, and to reach the deeper pockets which can't be reached. Thankfully to the group heads who are here, I'm sure everyone's overwhelmed with what Sharanjit is doing, but yes, taking a leaf out of her book, we can all use her expertise and take it forward.
I would like to have a contact of Marima. Please, I would like her details, please, so we can work better in the Hillingdon area as well.
I would like everyone on the session today to put in their chat, because due to GDPR, we can't send out email addresses. But if you put it on the chat, we could share our data, because this is a networking session for you. And we'd like you to connect with each other.
Yeah. I forgot to mention we are highly connected with the Home Start services as well. So because they don't have, they do have qualified staff, but they think I'm qualified enough as a social worker to support the young moms and their needs as well. So I'm so happy to proud to deliver the services to the other organizations as well, and their beneficiaries are so happy when they report back to their organizations how they benefit from our services as well. Honestly, it's amazing. It's the best achievement.
Yes, Sharanjit, I totally agree. There is this show of how the social media, how WhatsApp and a lot of other digital resources and tools have actually helped us when we're locked in at home, but we're able to connect with the community. Jane has organized and is running a digital camp, a technology group, which has been helping, people who are scared of the word digital or who are averse to the word digital to come forward. She has these amazing play sessions which takes out the fear of the word digital from it. So request you all to join that group. Get yourself digital savvy, make yourself more effective and heard out there. Ian is our big support in terms of funding and knowledge with funding. So with the issues that we put up today in the Mentimeter survey that we had, these were the topics that we put out, with Parul giving a lot of having a lot of information on safeguarding. So we're here to support you. I would like to share one more link with you, just to get a feedback from you, since I know SurveyMonkey, you can delay or getting into that. If before we end the session today, if we could have you just put in a couple of lines on the feedback. Just 1 second for that. I have put a link in the chat right now. If you could put in your comments on the 6 or 5 questions that we have there. This would give us more feedback and understanding on how we need to proceed with making these sessions more meaningful to you all. Can you all see the link?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while you are doing getting this done, Tracy has a question. Tracy, would you like to ask that question?
Hi, I've had the question answered from someone already. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah.
Great. Yes, Mukesh, our sessions are more of, we want to get it more interactive and limit the number of speakers. So we have more stories coming from you and more interactions so we can learn more from the group. Any difficulty with using that link that I put up?
I don't have any problems. I've completed it and acknowledged it.
Thank
Great.
you. The
I did
Noika,
it
the
too.
responses are coming in.
Oh, great.
Are you going to share the Mentimeter, whatever the score was, with us, or will you do that later on?
Yes, we'll send it out. Have we got any slides going out today, Noika?
Ian would be sending out the slides. But Jane, if you have the details right now, you can just
Take a snapshot
just
of
put
it.
it up. Yeah, just put it
It's
up.
just
on
be
the group.
interesting to see what. I bet you any money, both questions have got probably in the top 3 responses the same. Let's see if I'm right.
Both questions. Oh. You want to see the responses for?
If it's possible, if not, send it out when you send out the slides from the thalassemia lady?
Okay, I can. So, do you want to see the responses as they're coming in on this link that we've just sent you? Sorry, I just clarifying.
No, the Mentimeter, Jane. The event that we ran earlier, program that we.
All right.
While it's gone quiet, can I just say thank you, because today it's been, out of the sessions which I think many of us, a good chunk of us are regulars. I think today has been, for me personally, really superb. I think that's a good word. I would have used amazing, but I think superb is better, especially the lady who talks about sickle cell anemia, especially for the BME community. But also the few other things which she talked about, which made a difference in terms of our understanding. But having that and the story, the personal story, it's like when you first join an organization and they say, tell me about your job or tell me a little bit about yourself. I think some of that has actually been quite inspirational, because it shows how easy it is and how difficult it can be to actually get things running. But if you have good network of people around you, it makes a huge difference. Someone's got a vacuum cleaner on.
It's me, and I can't mute.
Yeah, I think we should get Rob to do the next story, because I think the work is done in Feltham in Bloom, and the stuff about getting Angela and the others who've cleaned up the pond in Feltham. I remember working with them, and I came out when we started planting some trees, just so as to make a difference, and then the regular cleanups which they do, it really brings the community together. And I think that's a really great story, Rob. And the flowers are wonderful as well. When I see your pictures on there saying, how it's been done, and I can't believe, sorry to say this, but I can't believe they haven't been stolen.
We in fact expected Rob to have a question for Sharanjit, because he wrote me a lovely email yesterday telling me he wanted to specifically attend because Sharanjit was too pleased.
I did, and I didn't want to do a big thing on the Zoom, but I'm going to send an email across to Sharanjit and try to arrange to meet up, because she's obviously been at this a lot longer than I have, and we've got a lot to learn. I'm really sorry I turned my printer on, because that link came up about how to improve your digital skills. And once I had said, yes, I want that link, all the other stuff on the screen disappeared. So I couldn't mute, and it wasn't a vacuum cleaner at all, Mukesh. So I'm really sorry. Yeah, I think maybe people like Richard Clark and Angela Parton, who have done the two big pond areas in Feltham. Richard is Bridge House Pond, and Angela has set up now the Friends of Feltham Green. They've been in this game for a lot longer than me and know a lot more and have done a lot more. So I would suggest they would be better speakers.
Maybe we can have a Feltham and, what happens in the Wild West of the borough. Yeah.
One of the things the thing that Nyoka put up about what suggestions have you got? One of mine was, what about subgroups based upon activity, but it could also be subgroups based upon area of involvement, you know, geographical area, because it's good to have a wide-ranging thing like this with Northolt and Harrow and Ealing and Hounslow and Feltham and everyone in, but sometimes it can also be useful to have smaller contact groups hiving off from that, so that you can have much more direct, intimate and ongoing conversations about your particular topic.
I think the best bit of news I heard this week, and for Rob, you'll love this, is that they said that they're going to plant more cherry blossom trees. And I remember when I was a kid, if you went down the A4, there would be cherry blossom trees on both sides, all the way from Hounslow West, all the way beyond the Golden Mile. And when it came to May, there was cherry blossom everywhere. And if you were coming into London as a tourist, that will be something remarkable. But they've said that they're going to bring that back, and we're going to have more trees, you know, cherry blossom trees, you know, along certain highways to actually bring back some of those memories. So
be great, be great.
Mukesh, I'm so excited. Please don't forget my allotment. I would love to plant the cherry trees in the allotment.
Yeah, but
for future generation.
You'll have to ask the Mayor of London, because it's coming from the Mayor of London's fund via TfL.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it's if you want to get
it's just to, you know, share the information with each other. That's more important. Sometimes if we miss out the information, but you are the best and super link to get
thanks.
any information from.
Yeah, but if you want to get a tree, all you need to do is talk to our friend Samia. Yeah.
Could you get me introduced with the Samia, please? We do need more fruit trees for our allotment for future children.
Okay.
Because we want to get them off the fast food so they can have more fruit.
Yeah, no problem.
And Rob, you are most welcome to visit us allotment. We are there every Saturday, 12 till 3.
I'm committed now in
and
the
lunch
every
provided.
Saturday 12 to 4 to be at the school in Feltham giving away plants. And
I will give, we
Sunday
will give you another day. We will
Yeah.
give you another day.
Okay.
During the Easter holidays, there will be a lot more visits to the allotment, and during the summer as well. Every other day, I go to allotment.
Yeah, and when you start getting the vegetables and stuff, don't forget to drop them off at St. Paul's Church.
Now I've got the address, no problem.
Yeah,
You
because
will
they
have
would
a
love,
plenty
they would
of,
love it.
get
They would
ready
love
to
it.
cook methi and sag.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to cook. No way. But I think if you give it to St. Paul's Church, they will, you know, what they do is they take the fresh fruit and vegetables on a Monday, leave them into kind of in storage, and then 48 hours later, they then give them out on the Wednesday to the clients or people who need that. Because at the moment, all they're getting is processed fruit and processed vegetables like tinned potatoes and tinned carrots. So if you do have surplus, or you want to get rid of any of the items, drop them off on a Monday between 9:30 and 11 to the food bank at St. Paul's Church at Hounslow West, and then on Wednesday they will distribute it to individuals, and I think they would love that.
So the thing is, all the beneficiary ours, they know what we are growing a lot of food all the time. What they do is they just visit the allotment for special purpose to take the sag. We had indoor growing sag last week, and one of the ladies, she's 75 plus, and she goes, I want to take the sag. So I collected her from her home, took her to allotment, then dropped her back, then came home. So I said, doesn't matter, at least somebody's using it. But we will have so many pumpkins, broad beans, green beans this year. We would love to donate.
Yeah, okay, well done.
You know? Yeah, we're gonna install more polytunnels to grow a lot more food indoors as well. So in future, we are looking into future because we never had this situation during the pandemic about the food crisis. So we are looking into grow more and more food and give a lot more to the community. Mr. Malhotra, I would like to know, who do I contact to expand our allotment to grow a lot more potatoes to give it to the community?
Well, I think you have to find who's your neighbor if they're free, but if they're in the same allotment, if they become free.
All the land is free behind our allotment, and we've been told you can expand anytime you want, but we have covered our area. Now we want to open up and expand more, but we need somebody from council, the right people. I did request Ian many times that we would like to see some people from the allotment side of the council, so we can have a meeting with them and how to go about them. So far, we haven't heard anything from the allotment side council at all.
If you're talking Hounslow, the two people that you could look to, Shanjit, Stefania Horn, that's spelled Stefania, Stefania Horn with an E on the end. She's head of parks, or the thing they now call Green Space 360. And the guy who's in charge of the allotment side is James Buchan, B-U-C-A-N.
James have some health issues, so James hasn't been active with the allotment work for long enough.
Stefania Horn.
Stefania, anybody has her contact number at all?
I will send to you what I've got. I think I've got her email, but I don't think it's stefania.horn@hounslow.gov.uk.
If you could send me an email, please, I would really appreciate, because I'm in the process of expanding the allotment and we want to install many more fruit trees for the future children to have a healthier lives and healthier food rather than fast food.
Okay, for fruit trees, there's a group called the Orchard Project. Guy Lewis McNeil. I'll send you his details as well.
Please.
They are very good. They're primarily interested in training communities to understand and to set up orchards and then to maintain them ongoing.
I would love to.
It's a community thing and it's a learning thing, but at the end of it, there are practical benefits in terms of having more fruit trees. And they're doing 2 projects for us in Feltham. They've been in abeyance because of COVID, but hopefully when lockdown eases, that will go off again. And they're going to plant orchards in 2 of the local schools.
All right. Could you introduce me to them as well, please?
I'll put that in the email as well.
Yeah. If you can send them link together, introduce me to them or them to me as well, then we can use more services to provide more for the community. I really want to support our young children with a healthy eating, because children always run for McDonald's and this and that. That's fine, it's okay, but we need to give them more healthier food and healthier society in future.
Being mindful of the time, I think we've overrun our time. I'd like to thank everyone who is still here and those who've left. This has been a good session, and we can add to our interactions. The emails are there in the chat, save them. If you have any issues getting in touch, email me the person you'd like to email and I can try and connect you to them. Thank you, everybody, and have a good day. Thank you for joining us today.
Big thanks to you, my little darling, because you are the one who put everything together and put all the puzzles together.
Thank you, Sharanjit.
Well done. Keep up the good work. Without you, we don't have a platform.
Oh, thank you. It's been
so make sure you come to my allotment as well on one Saturday.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Have a
Thank you,
good day.
darling. God bless you.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.